This is the light song of the signature pattern of this new moon in Capricorn. In this video, I'm going to explain what's behind it, how it's created, why I call it a mystic light, and how you can align your new moon and new year's intentions with its energies. Let's go. Welcome to this light song exploration of the Capricorn new moon at the very end of 2024. This is designed as a tool for setting intentions for this moon and also for 2025. I'm going to start with a taster of the light song. You can skip ahead this part if you want. I just wanted to give a taster first before I dive into how it's created and what's behind it. This is what the light song is made from: an astrology chart, a 2D representation of the skies, the heavens, the stars, space, at a moment in time as viewed from Earth. The middle line is the horizon line. The sun moves clockwise from left to right. When I look at the chart, whether it be for an event like the new moon or for a person's birth, the middle is where the action is at. It has the energy lines that run between planets and energy points. I like to think of them as conversations, connections, transmissions. I am looking to spot a pattern, a vibration, a frequency, an energetic signature, a blueprint, God's fingerprint, if you will, of that moment. This chart is for the moment of the new moon, the very last moon of 2024, a rare black moon being the second new moon this month. A new moon is a time to set intentions. I usually wait at least one day for the first chink of light to appear, for the moon to start to grow. The timing of this new moon being at the very end of 2024 makes it perfect for setting intentions for the 2025 year ahead. There's no rush to do this. You've probably got at least 3 days, and in that time you can absorb the energies of this transmission and how it relates to your starry makeup. Back to pattern spotting. The pattern in this horoscope is not hard to spot. Can you see it? It is a rectangle. The blue-red pattern known as a mystic rectangle. The pattern is so strong that I ignored my normal go-to starting point when I'm looking to figure out what is the signature pattern. Usually for a new moon, that is the sun-moon position. And looking into what I want to include, I focus on those aspects that are what they call applying. A helpful way to think about this is to substitute the word applying with the word approaching, and the word separating with the word departing. The rectangle is connected to the new moon actually in two ways. Through the lunar nodes, what look like two little knots here, they are the moon's nodes on the axes of Aries to Libra. And then also connected through the strongest aspect, which is Pluto's almost exact to the minute parallel connection to the Sun. He is sitting just 2 minutes off the very same latitude as the Sun. To quote AstroSeek, a parallel is similar to a conjunction, but usually provides benefits. We then have Mars, and the link to the new moon is further emphasized by what is called a contra parallel to the Sun. So he is contra parallel to the Sun by just 20 minutes. A contraparallel is said to be similar to an opposition, but weaker. So these are the nodes and their positions on the left here. And then we have Neptune and Lilith that are also involved. In the Huber's aspect pattern astrology, the lunar north node is given as the only valid inclusion of a non-physical object to make a pattern. So I looked for a physical object to anchor the south node and black moon Lilith. These are both energetic points connected to the moon. And I found 2 asteroids to add to the story of this mystic rectangle. Before we look at the symbolic picture and story, let's look at the pattern itself. The Hubers called this a righteousness rectangle. They likened it to an envelope when laying on the wide end, like it is in this chart that I've used, or to a lift door when laying on the narrow end, which you can imagine this tipping up and landing on the narrow end, looking like a lift door. In both cases, it speaks to it being a container for the opposing energy inside. They also touch on the ability for this energy to be one of transformation, a wholesale abandonment of everything that was important before, thus enabling a spiritual rebirth, hence the mystic rectangle moniker. And this is from the astrologer Carol Taylor. We might think of this pattern as a gift for finding creative solutions to difficult dilemmas. So I want you to keep that in mind as we go forward. A gift for finding creative solutions to difficult dilemmas. The characters, the players in the story are Pluto, the transformer, Mars, the warrior, also protector, and the dragon that is the south node and north node, joined by Neptune the mystic and Black Moon Lilith. Lilith known as being fiercely independent and full of potent female energy, telling Adam to stick it, and she wasn't going to be subservient, so she left the Garden of Eden. So this is my nickname for her, Ms. Independent. And then the two asteroids. I'm not sure how to pronounce Taiche or Taich. Pardon my pronunciation, those people who know how to pronounce her name. She's the daughter of Uranus and Gaia and connected to Oceanus, which is very intriguing that she's in the picture, given that we have Neptune in the picture, who is known as the mystic, Neptune, god of the oceans. Then we also have Clotho, the asteroid goddess, one of the three fates, who spins the thread of human life. Who do we have here as the players? We have Pluto the transformer, opposite Mars the warrior protector. We have the moon's nodes, the dragon, flying with the mystic, and Ms. Independent along with the two goddesses, one of the ocean and the other one of the fates, spinning a thread of human life. These are the elements. All of them are represented. The nodes, fire and air, and Mars and Pluto, fire and air. Earth and water are included because of the parallel of the Sun with Pluto, the very tight parallel, just 2 minutes. And then also Neptune being here with the North Node and in the sign of Pisces, water. Where these are located are down here for reference. This is a visual to visualize all four elements being present, with the main two being fire and air, with the embers blowing across the screen. So now we start the symbolic story of this black moon. This information is taken from jamesburgess.com and James Burgess's site, which is full of information. I am simply giving headlines here, so I would encourage you to delve deeper into each of the symbols once you've watched this and want to examine how this story unfolds for you. The first symbol is Pluto. Pluto is at 10 Capricorn. When you look at the Sabian symbols, you always round up to the next degree. Pluto is sitting at 1 degree, 1 minute of Aquarius. So for Sabian symbols, it gets rounded up to 2 Aquarius. 2 Aquarius is an unexpected thunderstorm. And James always gives a summary of the flavor of the symbol. And this is his summary: submission to unforeseen and uncontrollable forces. I have called Pluto the liberated because of Aquarius, creative because of his being parallel with the sun, and his own moniker, which is being a transformer. I've called him the liberated creative transformer, experiencing an unexpected thunderstorm, realizing that all life is ephemeral. Next we have Mars, and I've called him the lion-hearted warrior because he's in Leo. And I love this symbol, the image that it gives you. So the lion-hearted warrior in the form of a middle-aged woman, her long hair flowing over her shoulders and in a braless, youthful garment, pretty much saying, I'm not going to conform to these irrelevant rules. So he's there on the degree that is all about doing our own thing in our own way, the lion-hearted warrior. Next is the South Node. That this part of the dragon is with Lilith, the epitome of female potency. I've called the South Node a potent she-dragon. And she's there on the degree that is all about being authentic in every moment. The North Node with the mystic Neptune becomes a mystical sea dragon, all about adjustment to feedback. Last but not least is the overarching symbol, which is where the new moon, the black moon, the degree the black moon is on, which is Capricorn. And Capricorn is a sea goat and is known for being very stable and steady. So I've called this character the steady sea goat. And he's sitting on the degree, what a wonderful degree, that's all about radiating peaceful harmony. And again, another theme of the sea, in that their symbol is called an albatross feeding from the hand of a sailor. So we've got a lot of ocean and sea going on in this pattern of the black moon. So those were the characters and their motivations in the story. But where is the story unfolding? I've listed here 3 astrology websites where you can get a free chart. You just have to put your details in there and register, and then you'll be able to get your free chart. The first is my favorite. It's not as pretty as the last one, but I find it very intuitive to use. The second one has a great resource for finding asteroids and other objects that aren't typically standard as included in charts, and that is astro.com. Also a very widely used and popular site. I would say AstroSeek and astro.com are 2 of the most widely used free resources. And then the last one, for those of you who are aesthetically inclined, Astro Charts produces really beautiful charts, and every one of these sites will give you a summary reading, or you can read through what each of the positions in your own chart mean. They also have the houses. The houses are personal to you and where you are and where you were born. So when you're looking for where the story of the moon is unfolding, you're looking at the houses from your own birth chart, where it's unfolding in your birth chart. I'm going to explain more in the next slide as I share mine. So in astrology, you have a language. The planet is the what, the sign is the how, the house is the where. And this is a summary of the 12 houses, 12 segments in the chart. And depending on what house system you use will depend on how these are aligned, because they're not exactly even like I'm showing them here, just for convenience. They can be, some houses can be bigger and some smaller than others. And each house represents a part of life. And you can pause here if you want to read this. This is the parts of my life that this mystic rectangle is touching. If you remember, we have the liberated creative transformer Pluto is in Aquarius. Aquarius is in my 12th house. And that's how I connect the two. So the planet Pluto is in the sign Aquarius, and the sign Aquarius is in my 12th house. So his submission to unforeseen and uncontrollable forces is landing in my house of spiritual liberation. And I have just put this together to share. I haven't yet fully integrated and processed the messages for me from this moon. I'm sharing it so you can follow the same process that I've used for myself. The next is the lion-hearted warrior Mars in Leo, which is my 6th house. Then the South Node, which is in my 8th house. And the North Node, that is in my 2nd house. And not to forget, the actual black moon itself is in my 11th house. So this is the story of this black moon as it applies to the houses and the areas of my life this pattern is touching. And remember, way back to the beginning, it's about a creative solution to potential difficult circumstances. So this is where I would be looking, and the themes I would be looking to lean into or to find the gift of a creative solution. Every new moon belongs to a moon family. It is the beginning of the story. In this case, it's the story that lives between 7 and 9 degrees of Capricorn. This new moon here, it will come back to the same address or close to the same address. This is the full cycle. This new black moon is the beginning of this story that will have its next chapter in the first quarter, 29th September 2025, which is close to the same address. 9 months later will be the next chapter on the full moon that is also close to the same address, 8 degrees 14 Capricorn, and will close at the last chapter on the last quarter, again near the same address, 9 degrees again of Capricorn. The new moon is the seeding and beginning of something new. The first quarter reveals emerging issues that require action. The full moon is a culmination and a full exposure of plans or issues. And the last quarter brings closure, reviews, rewards, and payments given or received. This moon family concept is one that I discovered in a book called Lunar Shadows 3, The Predictive Power of Moon Phases and Eclipses by Dietrich Pessin, Pessin. So for those of you that are new to this and are interested in looking into this further, you can go and find her book. The storyline begins at 4 degrees 5 Capricorn, and that is because that is 3 degrees from 7 degrees and 5, which is the last point at the two ends here, 7 degrees 5 9 degrees 43. These other two are in the middle of those two, so these become the ends of the story. And you can go 3 degrees beyond. So I've gone from 9 to 12, 7 to 4, and that becomes the extent of your storyline. The next thing you do is look at what planets or points you have at those degrees. Doesn't matter what sign, it's the degrees that you're looking for. And I've done this for myself to give the example. So I have my own moon. It's very close in degree to this black moon. And in fact, it's almost exactly opposite this black moon at 9 degrees 38 Cancer. And my moon is in my 5th house, because you're wanting to look at the areas of life this is touching as well. My sun is at 10 degrees 41, so it lies between the 9:43 and the 12:43. My Mercury is at 7 degrees 33, which is within the 3 degrees from 9 degrees 43 to 6 degrees 43. My Mercury is in this part of the story of the black moon. I've put Jupiter here just for reference because Jupiter will become part of the story at the first quarter, because he is sitting between 7 degrees 5 and 4 degrees 5. For this black moon, I have my moon, my sun, and my Mercury are part of the seeding of this story. To show that in a light that may be more understandable, here are the houses that are touched by the mystic rectangle. And if you recall, the moon, my natal moon is directly opposite the steady sea goat. So I've added the 5th house in here along with the other 5. So I now have 6 houses that are being impacted by this moon. I also discovered that my own asteroid, so you can go and look on astro.com and look up your own name. There may be an asteroid that's been named after you, and that asteroid usually indicates you in your own chart. This is a nickname of mine, Lee. My name gets shortened to Lee, and this is asteroid 954. And I looked her up and it's like, my gosh, she is right there with the south node. I have my moon exactly opposite the black moon, and I have my asteroid sitting on top of the south node. And in actual fact, my nodes, both of them, are only 2 minutes off the current nodes. So I am in what is known as a nodal return. My nodal return was just 2 days ago. The nodes are still in almost the same place today. And here I've added my moon with her character, which is the nurturing mother, undergoing intense training in self-improvement. Boy, do I relate to that. This is the story for me. I've shortened, I've given the character name, the theme for that character, and then plotted it on the story board, which is the houses of life for me. And this is something I'm going to be sitting with to figure out how I utilize and lean into this energy of a gift of creative solutions, this black moon. And this is something you can do also. All of the characters and their themes that come from the mystic rectangle will also apply for you. All you need to do is match it with the house that they're sitting in that apply to you. And if there are any other parts either from the moon family exercise and or asteroids that may be sitting on these points from your own birth chart. So this is effectively an overlay of my birth chart with the current black moon signature pattern. I forgot. I have an extra character which makes the black moon even more black. My own moon is 0 degrees exactly parallel black moon Lilith in my birth chart. So I cannot take my own moon without black moon Lilith because they are like I say 0 0 0 0 exactly together on the same point. I've included her here, the inquisitive rebel, allowing an outburst of pent-up feelings. That's the degree, that's a symbol for the theme of the symbol for the degree that she sits on. These are the characters and the story and the areas of life as they apply to me. You can do the exact same exercise for your own chart. First, taking the mystic rectangle, the exact same characters and themes for those characters for the mystic rectangle, but then you're using your own wheel, what I call wheel of life, the zodiac, to find out which houses these characters are sitting in. And then do the same exercise I did with the moon family and find the other characters that are in the story. For me, it was my own nodes plus my asteroid, and then my moon and my black moon Lilith. They've all come in to play here. My sun also comes in here, which I haven't put in, which I will. And my Mercury, again, another character that I will do the same with. So this, as an exercise for myself, is still to be completed, but sufficient enough to demonstrate what I'm doing so you can do the same. We set the stage for this month coming up and also for the year. And that is because, as I demonstrated with the moon family, the story goes on for more than just a month. And the light song that I've created can be used as an energetic talisman to tap into the gift of the mystic rectangle. Now I'm going to share the full light song, almost 7 minutes. You can watch it and then come back to it once you've set your intentions to remember your intentions. I'm just going to introduce the light and then play it. Everything is energy, frequency, vibrating bright. This a song of the moon, mystic light, a coherence mandala woven from the chart. Simply breathe, inhale, exhale, tap into the energy communicating with your heart.